Don't be worried about these people out here.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Welcome to Home Team Sports and Entertainment. I am the Big Al Boski. He is Anthony Joseph. He
What's
is
going on?
Mr. Shango. And sporting a Philadelphia Eagles helmet right in Shango's face, in AJ's as well, because they're playing the Giants. My cousin, Phil McDevitt. What's up, Phil?
How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, we're
Clean
good.
that up. Yeah,
We're excellent. We're excellent, and we're off and running. And gentlemen, we're gonna do the picks right away because Shango's chomping at the bit here.
Excuse me. As your king of the picks, I decree that all my subjects I love. I love all my subjects. You guys are very lovely. All right, quite lovely.
He was so full of his own shit, right?
Never now. I used the bathroom
There's the
before.
Star Wars mug right there. Yep. Star Wars.
Is that Kylo Ren?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Phil, I hate to tell you this, but you're a whore.
That's all right. My wife still loves me.
It's okay.
All right, guys. So Shango's 12-4. I'm 11-5. PJ is 10-6. So is Phil, and AJ sits at 7-9. AJ, what's the matter there, bud?
Head injuries.
It's early. It's early.
Is that what that is?
And bless you.
It's getting late early though.
All right. So this week we're gonna do. Some tough games. I don't like to be easy about it, right? I don't like to make it easy for any of us. When it comes to the picks, I sent you guys the picks, but we'll get right into it right now with the Indianapolis Colts with Mr. Rivers are heading down to Tennessee and Mr. Tannehill. The Titans have been having a rough couple of weeks. They did win. Did they win last week against the Bears? Yeah,
24-17.
But I mean, they've had they haven't looked like the unstoppable force like they were in the first 4 or 5 weeks. So, in my book, but I mean, they're still rolling. In that division, I don't see who's going to touch them. But Colts come in. Colts and Titans. Who do you got, Mr. Shango? You're the lead dog, so why don't you start us off?
Thank you.
But I was just gonna say he just started talking. Why don't he pick it?
I mean, since Philip was right, I decree he should talk. Go ahead.
Don't fight over who goes first.
I mean, I'm already first. So
you want me to go first? I'll take Tennessee.
Why are you taking Tennessee?
Just cause.
Just cause.
No, they're home. They're starting to let more fans in. If you notice around the league, the Cowboys, in fact, had 30,000 fans in there, which is something else. For that Steelers game, and that game was actually pretty good, very competitive. You got a guy named Gilbert who actually can play, right? I mean,
that was surprising.
He's no Ben DiNucci, but
I mean, no. Ben DiNucci over there, he had a couple of things he had to go take care of, so that he couldn't.
I mean, I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in the Colts. All right, there's teams I believe in this league, and the Colts are not one of them. I'm not. Philip Rivers is done. I don't think he's what he was. He's doing a lot of things that show that he's getting old, and I don't think they've been winning their games because their schedule's been relatively easy. Now they face the only team that can stop them from winning this division, and that'd be the Tennessee Titans, because you don't got to worry about Jacksonville or Houston. So I'm going with Tennessee. You?
Me, I would say that if they let Brissett start, They have a surprisingly good defense that's been kind of getting off. Mr. Henry is not running like he used to. But I'm going to take a gamble with this one. I, too, will choose Tennessee.
Copycat. Philip?
How dare you?
Oh, there's some fighting words.
How dare you, sir?
Listen, I listen to you as all.
Wearing that horrible Falcons jersey.
I'm trolling my son.
Then in that case, troll on.
He's an Atlanta Falcon fan, and the Falcons have won, 3 straight after starting 0-6?
So he has a head injury as well. I see.
Because he wants Trevor Lawrence, and the Falcons are playing their way right out of it. Everybody wants Trevor Lawrence. Go ahead, Philip.
All right, so you got the 5-3 Colts going against the 6-2 Titans.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: Colts have won 5 of their last 6, and the one they got beat by was last week against Baltimore, who is a really good team. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they played it close. They have the second best run defense in the league. The Colts do. Derrick Henry, you saw what happened when he went against the top defense against the run. He struggled. Tannehill has not looked good last week. It was stellar. He's starting to show us the Tannehill in Miami. The Titans have lost 2 straight at home. I'm going with the Colts in this one.
All right.
Wise choice.
He went with the Colts. Anthony. That's
I'm
2
gonna
for
go.
2 for T and 1 for C.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Can I change mine? Can I
That's
change mine?
why.
Can I
That's
change
why
mine?
I'm winning. That's
Can
why
I
the
change
Colts are
mine?
winning.
Can I change mine?
It's locked. It's
Can I
locked.
change mine? I
Nope.
can't. That's. I mean, 'cause, like that's okay.
I love Anthony going last.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee.
Well, I just lost my crown.
Colts have won 5 of their last 6. The one they got.
All right. Our next game, and I just erased everything. What?
Skynet is watching us.
I think so, yes. Next game. Those Buffalo Bills, who it's their division to lose in the East, right? I think, do they have it locked up yet?
It seems like it. They beat the hell out of
I'm
everybody.
pretty sure, right? But they got a tough game. They go to Arizona and play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals have been playing tough.
Woo!
That's a tough game. It's a tough game. Kyler Murray, I think, is the real deal. He's playing awesome. Everybody, he's got a good wide receiving core. Buffalo, AJ, and I don't remember if it was AJ or Shango. One of you still didn't believe in Buffalo when we were picking last week. The Seahawks.
You already know who it was.
Y'all picked the Seahawks, and AJ's like, his reason was, I don't believe in the Bills yet. Do you believe yet?
Are you asking me who I'm taking?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're first.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Oh,
I'm gonna take the Cardinals. They're going to be traveling across the country.
they are.
You know.
No, they're not. It's the other way around. The Bills are going to Arizona.
That's what I meant.
Mhm.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, the Bills. Yeah, the Bills are traveling across. So I think
Professor Keith is chiming in.
The professor.
Go ahead.
The Cardinals have a good team, and I think they're gonna take it to the Bills this week.
That's Shango's Professor Keith impersonation right there. All right, so Cuz, who do you got? Cardinals.
I will not make this same mistake. I've been on the Bills bandwagon since the beginning with Josh Allen. Yes, the Cards are playing, whatever. I chose them to win the NFC West, but at the same time, they lost 3 of their last 6 games. It's going to come down to turnovers. I mean, Josh Allen was on fire, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions last week against Seattle. But Seattle's defense really ain't that good anyway. But the Bills have a better turnover ratio margin, and I think it's going to come down to turnovers. Josh Allen doesn't really turn it over. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills on this one.
There you go. And just spoiler alert, so am I. Shango, who do you got?
That makes 3. I'm taking the Bills. Josh Allen is coming off an emotional game where he played for his grandmother. And, the kid, believe it or not, this has been his year. He is killing it this year. And a lot of people were down on him when he came out, and he has proven a lot of doubters wrong. Yeah, definitely the Bills.
Okay. Our next game. Those pesky Seattle Seahawks seem to be a team we're picking every damn week just because they're always in some high-profile games. They got a rough schedule. They do. They got a rough schedule this week, but this year. But they're still top their division. So Hawks at the Rams. I'll go first on this one. Like Phil said before, the Seahawks defense is just obviously at times not existent. I mean, it's like, Russell Wilson could shoot out with anybody. So if you're going to have Russell Wilson, I like the Rams defense obviously better than the Hawks defense. So that might keep this close. It's a divisional game, but I'm going to lean towards the Seahawks because they're not going out east. It's in LA, so it should be nice weather. It should be fine. Like that's and if you're talking, so if you go down, you follow down the line. If you're saying I got to pick between Russell Wilson and Jared Goff, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson. So I'm going to take the Seahawks. Shanga.
I gotta agree with you. They with this game, anytime the Rams and Seahawks play, it is always a competitive game. It is always a shootout. It is always 90% of the time always comes down to the wire.
No matter the record, but they actually have good records.
Yeah. They always play, and that's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration. People look at the records a lot of times when it comes to rivalry games and think like, oh, they're 12 and 1, and this team is like 4 and 8, so it's gonna be easy. No, I think Seattle's gonna come out on top with this one.
Philip,
Seattle, we talk about defenses, you mentioned, Alan, and they give up almost an average of 370 yards passing a game. Goff has got Woods and Cup.
Yeah.
LA has won the last 3 of the 4 times they've met, and they got the 3rd best scoring defense. And I think that's, like you say, it's going to come down to defense. And if I'm going to catch Shango, I got to go Rams, and that's who I'm going with. I'm going with the Rams, the first home team. I took 2 aways. I'm going to take the home team in this one. Got to catch Shango, baby. It's about catching Shango.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you've disagreed with him. You've disagreed with him twice. All right, Anthony.
That's how I tie him.
Hawks and Rams.
I'm gonna go with the Rams on
Hawks.
this one. I think they got the best defense.
Kiss of death, baby.
Defense can't get out of their own way.
Anthony's my boy this week. We going strong, buddy.
All right.
Team headedry all the way.
The final game we are picking is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Football Giants at MetLife Stadium. It seems like we have a dual threat of quarterbacks that love to turn the ball over, so it's a matter of which one turns the ball over least, right? The Eagles are getting back Miles Sanders, Alshon Jeffrey, and maybe Lane Johnson might play. They haven't listed that yet. They haven't said that he's going to play or not yet. Lane Johnson. Anybody I missed coming back, Phil, this week? Salomalu on the offensive line. Salomalu's available too. That's going to be the deciding factor for me. The fact that Sanders is going to come back, and I want to see how healthy he is or not. Right? Every time somebody comes back from the Eagles, usually they get hurt in the first quarter, and they go back on the bench. But Miles Sanders, this is the first time he's had any major injury, so I want to see how he comes back, and I want to see how he does in the first quarter, first half, and if he's running steady. I don't see how the Giants win this game. So normally I don't bet with my heart. I make an informed decision, but I see Danny Jones turning it over 2 or 3 times like he normally does. I know that the Giants have looked better lately. They're starting to click, as fucking AJ puts it. But I mean, they played the Washington football team, for what that's worth.
Who?
Yeah, and if you say, oh, well, the Washington football team beat the Eagles in week 1, that was week 1, all right? This is a different –
No preseason.
Right. This is a different animal. They were winning that game 17-0, and they beat themselves. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Who do you got? Shango, because we're gonna let AJ go last.
This whole picking these two hurt. Picking these two hurt a lot. It's basically the battle of the high season
on purpose the whole season. Like since we started this show, this is episode 5.
Yeah,
we have never picked an NFC East game because you're a Cowboys fan, we're Eagles fans, he's a Giants fan.
And the comical part about this, you're having the Cowboys either choose the Giants or the Eagles.
Sorry, the motherfucker.
That's what you get for being 12-4 stuff.
You sir, heathen. You are dead heathen.
Yo,
this hurts.
You got the death stare on your ass.
Hold on, I'm gonna do it.
No, AJ was doing it to you.
I hate them both. I hate them both so much. But it's the battle of the high school team. Do I go with Mr. Paper Mache or can't throw right? So I hate to say it. Team Paper Mache.
You took the Eagles. He's taking the Eagles. All right.
I gotta take my dog out. I gotta take shit.
Go.
Oh, he fucking shit on the floor. I need something to clean it up. This will work. I'll clean it up with this, man.
Oh!
Yeah. This will work. Here.
Yo!
Clean it up with that.
I mean, it should work. It seems very absorbent.
All right. Dare I ask who you pick?
I'm not even going. You know what? Carson Wentz threw for 360, 70 yards against them last time they met. Daniel Jones tripped over the 6-yard line.
Yeah, but they barely won that game. I mean, the Eagles barely won that game. If it wasn't for Ebron dropping the ball, they would have lost. I
still got to go with the Eagles for a clean sweep of the for the Giants.
Go ahead, Anthony. Make your case.
You guys thought I would never, in any way, shape, or form, pick the Eagles in this game.
No.
And you're absolutely right. The Giants are winning this game.
Got it.
You got lucky once. You ain't getting lucky twice.
Okay.
So instead of him getting tackled by his foot, he'll get tackled by his arm this time. Gotcha.
Scored on that drive.
Gotcha.
Wentz is probably gonna break his leg this week.
Getting out of the bus.
The Giants do.
They
break legs.
Yeah. He gonna get hurt getting off the bus. How did you get turf toe? I stubbed my foot coming out of the locker room. I don't know what happened.
All right, guys, that is our picks for Week 10. I hope everybody enjoys Week 10. We'll see where this goes when we reconvene next week.
Well, we know I'm the only one that has a chance of going 4-0 because I took the Giants.
We're gonna switch gears to college football because I know you guys I know Phil's been dying, Shango's been dying to talk college football. We haven't talked much college football, and the reason is because it's not like it's been right with COVID. Not everybody's playing.
Right.
Sometimes I can get into college football, and if it's like the number 1 versus number 4, I'll watch it or whatever. And I always watch the playoffs that they have now.
Mm-hmm.
But I did watch bits and pieces of this game. I did not watch the whole thing. I did, my brothers and I, we always followed Notre Dame. Phil, his brothers, we always followed Notre Dame. So Notre Dame was playing Clemson, but Clemson did not have their starting quarterback. And Phil posed the question, does this hurt Clemson's chances moving forward for what? For a national title? Is that what you meant by that? Like, how much does this loss hurt Clemson?
Yeah, I just asked it for opinions because personally, I don't think it hurts Clemson's. I think Clemson moved down to 3 or something like that, right behind Notre Dame. Alabama went number 1. I think Ohio State 2 or 4.
Ohio State.
We still, and when I say we, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So, we still have to play Clemson again. There's a possibility that we meet for the ACC championship, which is our first championship ever. We've never been in a division, but because of this COVID, we had to go somewhere.
Right.
And personally, I don't. You know what? Here's the thing. I watched this game. I watched this kid play last week. This Ugalali, whatever you want to say. We'll call him Ugg. Yeah. And
I know what you mean.
You know what? I've watched him, and being down here in Louisiana, we get a lot of SEC, so a lot of Clemson, ACC, and stuff like that. So I've watched Trevor Lawrence play Alabama, play thing, and watching this kid. I think this kid is a better quarterback. His arm is stronger. I mean,
really?
The kid, the kid was 29 for 44 for 439 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I mean, he was just – you see that guy, he went to catch the ball, 2 or 3 receivers were like John Elway. Damn, man, the hand, couple joints. What happened on this game, and you could have had Trevor Lawrence, and I believe we still probably would have won, is because we shut down Etienne. He had 18 carries for 28 yards.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their quarterback, who's a better runner than Trevor Lawrence, had 13 carries for 2 yards. So
they couldn't run on him.
It's not going to hurt Clemson because everybody's on the Trevor Lawrence AP, the coaches poll, everybody's on the Trevor Lawrence train ride.
Right.
And they should be.
And they should be. The kid, he reminds me, remember the Titans. You know what I mean? Sonny from Remember Titans,
The last 2 games, the last game, Clemson barely squeaked out without Lawrence.
Look at Boston count.
So that team is not as good without him.
And I'm looking forward to the ACC, and I'm looking forward to beating them with Trevor Lawrence in there. We're on a high road here, man.
Yeah.
Can we be competitive against an Alabama? I don't know. SEC's always been tough.
Yeah.
Nobody can compete with the SEC except Clemson in the last 6-7 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see.
Shango, did you watch that game?
Yes, I did. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan.
Okay.
As you guys know. I've always followed Notre Dame. The game was, like you said, that kid was surprising. He was very surprising. Cannon of an arm. The thing that I really like this year, especially with Notre Dame, is the way, our defensive line has never been this good.
Mm-mm.
Our defensive line have never been this good, and they were pinning their ears back and going after everybody. So we were putting so much pressure on them not to run the ball that we were forcing them to throw. We're forcing them to throw. It could have been more. That kid he was elusive. He was elusive. As far as this hurting Clemson's chances of moving forward, I think Clemson's still going to be in the top 4, regardless. They're still a really good team. The The only team, like, I worry about them, but, historically, Alabama has had Notre Dame's number. Every year. Notre Dame was undefeated, went to the national championship against Alabama, and we got murdered.
Right.
So that's the team that I think if Notre Dame ends up playing Alabama, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough road because Nick Saban, it's Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I think Clemson's going to continue to start picking up progress. Lawrence is out for the year, right? He's not playing.
No, he'll be
he's not out
back.
for the
He was
year.
COVID. If he was out for the year, this would hurt Clemson's
Right.
chance, but
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
No, it was a COVID thing, right?
It was a COVID thing.
Yeah, so he should be back. Tell me, your brother tells me how Notre Dame beat them and fall one spot in the ESPN ranking.
Well, and I said it in the pre-show.
Yeah.
ESPN. If you watch,
Well, he don't see the
ESPN,
pre-show.
Well, ESPN had fired a lot of their writers. They released some of them this past week. So yes, Notre Dame was already ranked 6th in the ESPN, but they dropped one spot to 7 after their victory over Clemson, which I guess they just picked up these third graders that don't know college football to write the stories.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know.
Pretty much.
It is. It's a big. That's why I don't follow ESPN that much when it comes
They
to
mark all the stuff with crayons.
Maybe they touched this many times by those priests.
I mean, they still had Penn State 0-3, right? Like 14. Come on, man. They're not even in the top 20. Yeah.
They was doing all that stuff during their nap time, so they really couldn't really talk about it that much.
So with the amount of teams that are actually playing college football out there, how are they going to work the bowl system? Because have you heard anything about that?
It's still the same. They haven't changed it. They're not talking about changing it. It's still going to be 4 teams. It's still going to be like January. They pushed it back.
But I mean, there's going to be bowls like there always is.
Yep.
So far, yeah.
Okay. And
Bowl system is not going anywhere.
The national championships usually
usually the first week of February, but like I said, you have that long push back with the Pac and the Big Ten starting late, 2 weeks, some 3 weeks.
So maybe late February then.
So maybe, or maybe a shorter distance between the January 1st games and the December or whatever.
All right, we're going to go back to the NFL. Is that all you got? You guys have anything else on that?
AJ?
What?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Notre Dame sucks.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I don't speak bullshit. What'd you say?
He's 0-3 Penn State, I believe.
Oh, you Penn State fan.
He don't root
He
for
thought of Penn State because they have something in common with Notre Dame.
I heard. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say that. I can't say that. I can't say that on the show. I can't say it on the show. But I heard the Share program is great. But go ahead.
Wow. So we got a slew of rookie quarterbacks making waves in the NFL this year. But in particular, we got Tua, we got Burrow, we got Herbert. Herbert's in the Chargers, Burrow for the Cincinnati Bengals. Tua is now 2-0 as a starter for the Dolphins.
2-0.
So if you guys could take one of them right now and build a team around them, which one do you want? And we'll start with AJ because you guys did all the college stuff. So AJ, who do you want? Tua, Burrow, or Herbert?
I want to go with Justin Herbert. The kid's
Why?
He's been amazing. He has 21 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
His completion rate's 67%. He is looking like a great NFL quarterback, and it's only his first year. But you can't.
Jason wants to take over the show. He doesn't know if we're going to mention the fact that Chase Elliott won the NASCAR championship.
This is all sports, not some kind of left turn driving school.
Listen. To be fair to our audience, NASCAR is a sport. But we don't. None of us really watch it or follow it the way Jason does. So if Jason wants to come on and talk NASCAR one day,
He's
more than
slowed
welcome.
down.
I'll take
He's
the day
slowed
off.
down a lot.
But I will say live on our show, Jason, that Chase Elliott won
Congratulations.
the Cup. Right?
Everybody else retired.
Great job.
Oh, awesome. He went out like John Elway.
Oh, I was supposed to clap, wasn't I?
What I was saying though, like you
All
can't
right,
take away
so-
from Burrows. He's having a good season too.
Yeah.
He's doing more with less.
Yes.
And Tua we haven't really seen, but right now I would take Herbert.
Who's doing more with less?
Burrow. He said Burrow has less talent around him.
He's
I
playing on the
disagree.
Bengals.
I disagree. But that's okay.
Well, surprise. You disagree with me.
No, not really.
All right, so who are you taking then? Who are you taking, cuz?
You know what? Listen, man. You know, Josh Herbert, 2,100 yards, one less game than Burrows. Finally, Joe Burrows did not have a sack, did not get sacked. But as far as less talent, I mean, he's got Boyd, Higgins, and Green who have more receiving yards. San Diego's only got
Wait, you talking about AJ Green?
AJ Green.
Is
I
he
forgot
like
he still
19?
The Los Angeles Chargers
How old is he?
only have – he's got like 316. Keenan Allen. Their leading running back has 200 and some yards in a rookie Kelly. Mixon has almost 500 yards. He's coming back, Mixon. I build my team around Justin Herbert just like AJ. And for the simple fact is they both have the same passing percentage, completion, 67. But Herbert, with no talent, only Keenan Allen, has averaged 306 yards, third best in the NFL. And he's a rookie and has one less game than the rest. I gotta go Justin Herbert because Tua has not played enough games for me to think, and it comes down to this week 10, Tua versus Herbert.
Yep. Here we go.
The Chargers and the Dolphins this week.
That should be a nationally televised game.
But if you think about it, I keep going San Diego, but the Los Angeles Chargers lost the last two games on the last possession and have lost all 6 games by one possession.
Yep.
So who you got this week?
Well,
I got the Chargers, baby. Chargers. I think Herbert, man, I'm building my team around Herbert. I agree with you, AJ. He has no talent there. I mean, Mike Williams he's just what? He's like Buddy Ryan used to say about Chris Carter. He can only catch touchdowns. And he hasn't done that this year. But
Sean,
that's what I go with. Herbert.
They do take Herbert.
It's hard not to take Herbert. It's hard not to take him. But as far as having less talent, I think Tua has the team with the less talent as far as receiving core. Tua has a team with less talent, and look what he's done in 2 games. In 2 games, look what he's done with one of the least talented teams in the NFL on the offensive side of the ball. So, I mean, I get it. I wouldn't take Joe Burrow. He had one good year. He had one good year in college, and he was the number 1 pick. Tua had Tua's resume.
And was that really Burrows or was that Lamar Chase, Marshall, Moss, Justin Jefferson?
I think it was more the team he had around him because he was just kind of throwing the ball up there. These guys were going for it. But the kid does have an arm. I mean, there's he's throwing ropes everywhere. Me personally, barring any serious injuries, I'd go with Tua. He's a more patient quarterback, and he seemed to me coming out of college more NFL ready because of the scheme he came out of, from the team he came from. He knows how to. He can. To me,
How many good quarterbacks does Alabama have?
Huh?
In the NFL. How many good quarterbacks has Alabama had in the NFL?
Joe Namath.
I'll wait.
Joe Namath.
I'll wait.
I mean, look at this year. Hey, a broken clock is twice right twice.
Twice a day. You got it. Yeah, you got it.
Another Alabama quarterback has done something in Cincinnati that Andy Dalton's never done, and that was win a playoff game. A.J. McCarron.
That's true. That's true. And he's a good quarterback. He never really had a shot to really do anything. He was with Cincinnati. He was on Cincinnati, and the
So
kid
Joe Burrow is that much better.
I'd say Tua. I'd say Tua, and I know it's kind of early picking Tua. He's only had 2 NFL games, but look what he's done in those 2 games against the teams he was playing too.
Look what he's done.
Tua didn't look good last week or the previous week. This week against Arizona, he looked really good. A game manager, the field general. You know what I mean? I have to,
The question below us says, who do you want? Meaning,
I say Tua.
Right. You say Tua, they say Herbert. And the question is, out of those 3 guys, if you were a GM, who would you take and build your team around? And a lot of times, Heisman Trophy winners don't come to the NFL and they just fall into the ocean, right? It's happened time and time again. Matthew Leinart, I can go on and on. But my point is, so far, Joe Burrow has a 92 passer rating. All right. He doesn't have a lot of talent around him. I mean, yes, Tua has less, but Tua does have a better defense than the Bengals do. And so that helps. Field position helps. Things like that helps. Out of the 3, the most talented that I can see is Herbert. And that's the truth. But like you all have agreed, we haven't seen enough of Tua to make that call. But from what I've seen of Joe Burrows, out of those 3, I'm taking Joe Burrows. I think that he, out of those 3, 5 years from now, will be the bigger deal, the bigger star than those other 2 guys. That's my opinion. Far be it from the fact that he plays for a shitty team like the Bengals, and will the Bengals do anything? Because Miami and Los Angeles will sure as shit try to build a team around those 2 guys. Cincinnati hasn't had a decent team in 20 years. All right. The last time they had a decent team, Boomer Esiason was their quarterback. So what I'm saying is that I don't trust the Cincinnati Bengals organization to build a team at all. But I do like what I see in Burrow, his mechanics, his decision making. He put up 406 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns were looking pretty damn good, and then they hit that game and they didn't look so good. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. They tied the Eagles, and I know you're saying, well, the Eagles are a dumpster fire, but I mean,
because the Eagles had no balls in that game.
The thing is, how many times did the Eagles turn the ball over? You know what I'm saying? They beat themselves playing a shitty team. They beat themselves.
10 seconds.
And Joe Burrow was actually pretty good in that game, pretty decent in that game. He didn't turn the ball over. Carson Wentz turned the ball over 4 times, 2 picks, 2 fumbles. So my point is that I need to see more of Tua. But if you're asking me today, who do I want out of those 3? I want Joe Burrows. But that's me. Montana agrees with me. Hi, Montana. Yup. Joe Burrow. So we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll revisit this topic at the end of the year because we're at the halfway point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these 2 ain't catching Herbert.
Well, Herbert's number 1 so far as far as Rookie of the Year.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
And that's fine.
But we're talking
Professor,
about
Browns, Bengals. Their problem is they're in a division with the Ravens and the Steelers, who will always be dominant. Well,
don't know about this week.
Simple and straight economics. Yeah, I don't know about this week either because we know that Ben Roethlisberger may or may not have come in contact with COVID. They don't know if he's playing yet. He's on a 5-day wait. I was talking to a Steelers fan earlier. They're saying that he might still play, but if he doesn't play, you got Mason Rudolph against the Cincinnati Bengals. And he was actually worried about that. And I'm like, really?
This Mason.
Yeah, him. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the question there is: does Ben play or does not, or does he not in that game against the Bengals? But I don't think it automatically means that the Bengals are going to win. I mean, how do you bet against 8-0, right? I mean, you don't bet against them until they lose.
Easy, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. Enough said.
We'll
He
see.
hit me in the face.
How you let a man take your own helmet and beat you with it?
We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see
guy's a
what
freak,
happens. We'll see what happens. What's the depth past Ben? Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Right.
And then the punter.
Right. And that's who they got. Keith follows the Ravens and only the Ravens. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But like I said, that was good. I liked your answers. I did, and I agree with it. It's hard to pick any of those three. You're right. Herbert's going to get Rookie of the Year, but I like what I see in Joe Burrows, and I think he's got the brighter future. That's my opinion.
They're both tough. I mean, I haven't seen enough to. Like, if you would have went last year, asked me top quarterback in college, Tua would have probably been my favorite to take over those two till the injury happened. But he's dangerous. He can extend the plays. I mean, like the best left-handed quarterback since like Steve Young and Mark Riddell. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Before we get into our final segment, let me give a shout out to Chrissy. Chrissy and her show is on Sunday nights at 8:00. It's Ciphered Knowledge with Chrissy on Sunday nights. Tomorrow night, TJ, our boy, has got Spittin' with Spitter Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. We're on Tuesdays at 6, and then Saturday and Sunday we got Around the Turnbuckle. This Saturday we have JCM versus JT Cage face to face from Triple WA.
Ooh.
I heard these guys show up, unlike some people.
Well.
Oh, you mean who did show up? Who did show up? You talking about the guy who was triple book? Yeah, you're right.
Triple book.
That guy who was triple book. Yeah, you're right.
By the way, Urban Legend, who did show up, called him out to show up again. AJ, we rescheduled that for December the 5th. December 5th. It's going to be Prince Shango and Urban Legend face to face.
I got some words for that young man. He did because Daddy wasn't there. The kid felt like he can go around and play around in the house. Daddy's got to spank him now.
So, all right. So catch us Around the Turnbuckle on Saturday at 6. Around the Turnbuckle on Sunday at 6. And keep an eye out for all our programs on our YouTube channel. If you want to see any of our old shows, the YouTube channel is 2M1L Media. 2M1L Media. And subscribe while you're there, please. The entertainment world lost an amazing person, a philanthropist. Did I say that right?
Philanthropist?
Probably revered by many as one of, if not the best game show host of all time. Before Jeopardy, in case you don't know, he did host about 3 or 4 different shows before Jeopardy, one being To Tell the Truth. You can look that up. I don't know all of them, but we're going back into the 70s, man, because he started Jeopardy in the 80s. He did it for 37 seasons, and at the age of 80, died of cancer this week. Alex Trebek. Now, in honor of Alex Trebek, this last segment tonight on Home Team Sports, we're going to talk game shows. All right? We're going to talk game shows, and if you don't have a favorite, maybe you had a favorite when you were a kid, maybe you have a favorite now, maybe there's a new one out that's your favorite like nowadays, or maybe you have an all-time favorite, or maybe you have a top 3. I don't know what you guys are going to say. So, AJ, is there a game show that you absolutely love and can't fucking miss?
No.
No game shows.
Because he's probably in the head show we have.
Watched The Price is Right when you were a kid?
No, I like the Family Feud.
Family Feud. There you go.
Steve Harvey.
America Says.
Family Feud's good. I mean, you like the new, what?
Is that the name of the show? Whammy?
Whammy, which
Press
was
Your Luck.
Whammy.
Press Your Luck. That's what.
Press Your Luck. Yep.
Yeah.
Press Your Luck's a good one.
There's not like too many that I will stop.
But none that you watch nowadays.
No.
We're talking, but those are good ones. Family Feud's an all-time show. I mean, it's been around forever, but it's had different hosts, but it's been around forever. Anybody watching? What's your favorite game show? Shango, favorite game show?
For the longest time, it was Jeopardy and Family Feud and Price is Right with Mr. Touch Everybody, Bob Barker. But I used to watch especially when I was a kid. I used to watch Jeopardy all the time because I'm a fan of intelligence. So I'm still trying to figure out what happened to AJ. I'm telling you, head injuries are a real thing. Like they need to be worried about people. Like I appreciate every week.
Don't worry about head injuries. You worry about legends.
I mean, I don't have to worry about legend. I mean, you see how worried I am about legend. I'm just saying, like, what did the CT scan say at the doctor? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is he saying you're okay? He's saying, I just want to know, as a friend, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm great.
You're my teammate, man.
So you're good. So you're good with Jeopardy. That's it. Just
Jeopardy. Family Feud. Price is Right.
Yes, Montana. Yes. Phil. He said Jeopardy and Price is Right. He said Press Your Luck and Family Feud.
Yeah. I do like. I did like Jeopardy. Again, Game of Intelligence.
Right.
My all-time favorite, and it's only because of the characters they had on there with the one-liners. Hollywood Squares, with Paul Lundy, Joan Rivers, Rich Little. That was just comical, man. Just some of the answers they would give. You know what I mean?
Despise that show.
See, I loved it because it was like right on the edge, the cutting edge back in the 70s and 80s with sexual innuendos and, you know what I mean? Like the one-liners. Recently, the ones I used to like was like on like the sporting shows, like Beat the whatever the hell his name was. The answer.
Minute to Win It?
No, it was a big, heavy set guy that sat up in the chair, and they had to answer sports questions.
Oh, yeah.
Beat the Slammy or Slimy.
Was it a British guy?
Yes.
That was a good show. I like that one.
And it was because anything that's sports trivial, I love. You know what I mean? Anything that's history trivial, I love. And that's why Jeopardy was probably one of my all-time favorites as far as that. With Hollywood Squares coming in second because of the comedy behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if I want to go another way, like some men, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was another one, or the one with like Howie Mandel with all those girls. I always pick the case. I always pick the
Deal or No Deal.
The hottest woman.
Don't tell your wife. Don't tell your wife.
Deal or No Deal was good. When I was a kid, if I stayed home from school sick, I always remember watching Price is Right at 11 o'clock in the morning with Bob Barker. Jeopardy, I think I got into more when I was older because, I got real excited when I actually knew what one of the answers were.
But my
Shango's
still trying for one out.
But my
No,
all-time,
I had a good rating with Jeopardy. I'm still trying to figure out what your doctor said. So,
but my all-time favorite game show is Wheel of Fortune. I've always been a big Wheel of Fortune fan. Sajak and White have been doing that shit for also 37 years.
Yeah.
She ain't white no more. She gray. So
the price is wrong, bitch. Thanks, Montana.
Yeah, you know which ones I don't like? It's the new ones like Chain Reaction, all that, when you have to wait for. We'll be back with the answer after this commercial.
Right.
I hated those. Like,
and
just tell me the damn.
As far as news shows go, I love Jane Lynch with the Weakest Link, because that was if you've ever seen that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Weakest Link was a British show that came over here, and it did really, really well on like the Game Show Network ratings wise. And then they shut it down, and then they brought it back because Jane Lynch just keep putting Jane Lynch on TV. Another one I like too.
Very handsome man.
Another one I like too was the $25,000 Pyramid with Dick Clark. That was another one I always liked. When they had celebrities on, like they had like Betty White on there one time when she was like 60, not 90. You know what I mean? Like,
she was 60 at one point.
I think, years ago, long time ago.
I think her and Morgan Freeman were born when they were both born. They came out like 70.
Pyramid.
No, her and Keith Richards are Adam and Eve, dude. Come on, man. You didn't know that?
That's true.
She's gonna be here long after we're here. I think.
Oh yeah, Adam and Eve, man.
We're gonna have World War III, and there's gonna be cockroaches and Betty White.
And Keith Richards.
And Keith Richards, right? They're gonna repopulate this.
Oh,
the earth.
Shango got a visual.
Cash Cab
Could come out looking like AJ.
Cash Cab's a good one, AJ. Cash Cab's a good one. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Game Show Network's always trying to come up with like new ones that catch on, or like I think they're bringing back Card Sharks too. I think.
Did you see that one on Netflix? It was The Floor is Lava.
What's that?
The Floor is
the
Lava.
one on Netflix. The Floor is Lava.
No. Oh yeah, where they jump around on the couches and shit. Yeah, that reminded me of our childhood, AJ. When I'd suplex you from the couch to the recliner.
That explains it. You missed the couch one day, didn't you? You missed the couch one day and straight to the floor.
I'm not sure. I might have put him through a coffee table at one time.
So Alan's to blame for this.
Yep.
I'm always to blame, cuz. I'm always to blame.
It's your fault.
I'm always to blame. But yeah, every week we do sports. We pick 3 or 4 topics, and then at the end, we're always going to do something in the world of entertainment, right? We're going to do TV shows, movies, whatever's going on at that time. Coming into December, we'll probably start talking some Christmas stuff, whatever's on our minds. Yeah. But this week, on a lot of people's minds, is Alex Trebek, and I'm sure I speak for everybody when our prayers are with his family. I read an article where everybody was with him in the room, like his entire family was in the room with him when he passed. So that's a special thing. Also, in case you don't know, he taped episodes of Jeopardy from now until the end of the year. So call it creepy, call it what you want, but he's actually going to still be on Jeopardy for the rest of this year. He taped episodes all the way up to Christmas. So, that was his work ethic. I remember when he got diagnosed, he said, I'm going to beat this thing because I still have 3 years on my Jeopardy contract.
Mm-hmm. And that was what, 2 years ago?
No, that was this year. He got diagnosed like earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
But it's just, they tape so far ahead. You know what I mean? Yeah. They tape they tape for 2 months, 6 months worth of episodes. You know what I mean? It gives them the ability to pick a new host smartly. Yes.
You see that one?
Yes. That's awesome. That's
And
cool.
their year that they for the money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Alex Trebek, like I said, he's going to be. Keith brought it up. That gives them time to pick up a host. I mean, before we get off the air
Who do
here,
you replace
you
him
guys
with,
have
though?
any idea who they could possibly get to replace him on that show? Because that show
No.
is very popular.
Yeah. You need somebody with personality and somebody who's intelligent.
I believe Trebek dedicated himself to make us all smarter. Thank you, Alex. Yes, thank you, Alex.
Agreed.
But does it have to be a smart guy? Can it be a funny guy who's also maybe a little smart? You know what I mean?
Who you got? Who you thinking?
I don't know. To me, it'd have to be somebody that would really, All right, if you're gonna go funny, I would take Will Ferrell, just because I know that he did the Saturday Night Live part of it, but I think he'd make a good host as himself. But that's me.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
I like.
But if you're gonna go smart, I would take Ken Jennings because isn't he like the best Jeopardy player of all time? Who hasn't earned that spot more than Ken Jennings, right? But that's just me. We got comments flying in here. He says Ken Jennings. There you go. Montana agrees with me again. That's twice in one show. Montana, who do you got? Giants or Eagles?
Oh God.
But then I don't think Will Ferrell ever did the skit with thing. I think it was the other kid.
No, Will Ferrell did it. Will Ferrell did it. No, I know who you're talking about. But Will Ferrell did it with that one guy that did Sean Connery and.
You talking about
whoever takes over will ruin the show.
Is that a
Tom
joke?
Hanks
No.
was on a,
No, if you were watching the whole show, we did pick that game. and only one of us took the Giants. So
only one of us is gonna get it right.
Oh yeah.
All right, so no, Keith's saying no, you should take smart first and funny second.
So we're gonna give it to Kevin Hart.
See, there you go.
It said smart.
Betty White, Alex Trebek.
Betty's 90. You can't replace an 80-year-old with a 99-year-old. Cuz
I'm just saying, Alex Trebek picked her.
Jesus God, why did I ask? Why do I ask? I don't know.
Why do you ask?
I don't know.
She's smart and
maybe
funny.
we'll go Jeff Foxworthy. He did. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Does that make Foxworthy smart though?
No, it does not.
No, you're not gonna be smart. All you gotta say
he wasn't smarter than a fifth grader.
The answer was.
Here's your sign.
What is?
She bleeds blue all day, even though Jones blows.
Giving up too early on Jones.
Say that 5 times fast, Shango. Bleeds blue all day, even though Jones blows.
I can't do that.
Maybe
My
she's
head is
talking
soft.
about Jerry Jones.
No, she's talking about Mr. Trip Yourself.
Mr. Trip Yourself.
His new name is Happy Feet. You know that, right?
He's got to run between the hash marks.
Well,
I think he tripped him up.
He's the fastest quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I think
his attribute on Madden is self-tackling.
When he gets
Is that better than the butt fumble or the butt? The Mark Sainz hit. I mean,
I would
not like that.
I would rather butt fumble. I would rather butt fumble.
You just want ass in your face.
No. I would rather butt fumble.
Yeah,
he's like he's like a bitch in a horror film tripping.
Thank you.
Oh, like that commercial? That's how in a shed with all those knives. But there's a car.
Why don't we just get in the running car?
Yeah. And Daniel Jones was like, I got this.
Yo, even his own.
All right, we're gonna get out of here.
You'd be like McNabb going up on the 1 yard line during a Super Bowl.
Huh?
We're gonna get out of here. Do you guys got any last words?
Yeah,
I got some of them.
What?
G-Man.
I say this in every week. If you got somebody that you're concerned about and that you're worried about, reach out to them because you never know what can be going on in their life.
You never reach out to me, bro. You never reach out.
You never answer the phone, man. Like, I know you got a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff to go to, but just like, no, I'm here for you.
It's like all those girls you mean. I give you the wrong number.
I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. Okay.
These two need their own show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I do have something to say though, if it's okay. Yeah, there's these couple guys I know who one runs if you're into baseball, it's called the Weekly Streamer Podcast. It's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, early in the morning. They're on Facebook. You can get them, Rich and his guys. And then if you follow fantasy football, all sports kind of fantasy football it's called the Fantasy Hotspot. That's where I win all the jersey, which I won another Cam Jordan this weekend. But they have, a bunch of games and who to start, who to sit, and on all sports, man. And they're going to plug our show too, man. I just had to plug those in. It's called Fantasy Hotspot on Facebook, and Weekly Streamer, which is mostly baseball, and they do a lot more like the minor leagues. Who's coming up? Who's hot? Up to news, up to sports.
The Yankees moving to Somerset. There's
Somerset Patriots.
Can't wait. Right around the corner.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that? Real quick, what do you guys think of that? Then the MLB taking over minor league baseball and trimming it down. 40 teams are disappearing.
Yes.
That's insane.
Wow.
Am I losing the Iron Pigs, cuz?
No.
You
Thank
won't
God.
be losing
No chance.
I love
a lot
the
of
Iron
triple
Pigs.
A's ain't moving. I think it's more like single A rookie ball,
Right.
stuff like that. Ones that like on the lower levels.
But these are 40 communities that go to these games that are affected.
Because one, you got to look at like money loss, keeping like rookie A ball, like single A stuff like that. But they're expanding rosters too, so it's not like you're losing out. They're just going to expand the rosters in the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. But like your AAA and AA are still going to be there, but it's just single A rookie ball. There's a whole shit Cactus League, Arizona League. I mean, you name it. There's just so much.
The Trenton Thunder, their field was starting to go to crap. The Yankees.
Yeah.
That's why. And
that's Somerset.
He's the one
there
who
you
owns
go.
the Iron Pigs too.
I want to shout out to Montana for tuning in, girl. Thank you for tuning in. I was glad to see you. Check out Montana, called the Montana Way, on YouTube, where it's a cooking show that she does, and she's fantastic. And so is her mother. Shout out to the professor for chiming in a couple times tonight. That was his first time checking our show out. Thanks for the support. If they're willing to cut it, you don't think there's an economic decision there? Yes. We're going to talk about that next week. The last thing I'm going to say, because you all had your last say, is thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for coming in every damn week. This show is just off and running. We're getting it going. We're actually getting a flow to it. It's cool. I know the first couple ones were kind of bumpy. Last week I thought went really good. This week went really good as well. I think we're going to have fun with it. I want you guys to throw ideas my way. You know what I mean? I just want to say, hey guys, this is what we're talking about this week. I was talking to AJ pre-show about that. I want you guys to throw, y'all watching this. Send me
some ideas.
Throw us some ideas. What do you want us to talk about? You want us to talk about stuff, something that's important to you? That's
Jason's going to say NASCAR.
That's not NASCAR, Jason. If you guys want us to talk about anything else besides what we already are talking about, throw some ideas our way. We'll be glad to consider it. We're not going to definitely take every idea, a.k.a. NASCAR. And with that,
I heard NASCAR was going to add a right turn, so watch out.
Or golf.
Watkins Glen, they do right turns.
That's a hobby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my final word is go Birds.
Go Giants.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
my French, but you're an asshole.